0800-222-333. Your story matters. APSA.
EC holds swearing in of 365 contested LC1 chairpersons pending petitions. And CHE receives 700 university programs for competence-based education. And Liberia agrees to accept 1,200 foreign deportees from the US. Good morning, welcome to the latest news bulletin on Mega FM. I'm Winnie, Oyet, and now the news in detail. The Electoral Commission has directed local government authorities to hold the swearing-in of 365 village cell LC1 chairpersons whose election results are being contested until pending complaints are heard and determined. On July 28, 2026, the Electoral Commission conducted elections in 71,214 villages across the country to elect LC1 chairpersons and village councils. However, the elections were marred by allegations of electoral malpractice, prompting hundreds of candidates to petition the Electoral Commission, challenging the results and seeking the nullification of disputed elections and declaration of rightful winners. In a statement issued on Wednesday, Electoral Commission Chairperson Justice Simon Byabakama said the Commission confirms receipt of a number of complaints challenging the electoral processes and results in various villages. He said the Commission had commenced the process of hearing, reviewing and determining the complaints, which is still ongoing. Justice Byabakama noted that the Commission had also observed that preparations for the swearing-in of newly elected village cell chairpersons by respective local government authorities were already underway, including the areas where election results are the subject of pending complaints before the Commission. He explained that the measure is intended to give the Commission time to conclude the hearing and determination of the pending complaints before any further action is taken regarding the affected election results. Universities across the country have so far submitted 700 competence-based programs for accreditation by the National Council for Higher Education. Once approved, the programs will usher in significant reforms in Uganda's higher education system. Dr. Alex Mugisha Kagume, the Deputy Executive Director, National Council for Higher Education, said the Council has begun receiving redesigned programs for the review in line with the minimum standards for universities. He revealed that the Council has pulled a team of assessors who will first undergo their own orientation on the process before the actual review of the submitted program begins. Kagume added that the assessors are being taken through the minimum standards that universities ought to have designed their programs on, as well as the checklist of what they will be looking for in the process of reviewing the programs. The assessors are drawn from experienced lecturers and professors at different universities. They will be trained for 3 days this week before embarking on that review exercise. More than 2,000 former Lord's Resistance Army LRA captives and returnees are expected to gather in Lira City next month for a Thanksgiving and mass prayer service aimed at seeking spiritual healing, forgiveness and reconciliation after years of insurgency. The prayer, organized by the Anglican Diocese of Lao in partnership with the LRA returnees, will be held on September 12, 2026 at the diocesan headquarters in Boro, Lira City East Division. For many of the returnees, the gathering will provide an opportunity to confront painful memories of the more than 2-decade conflict, thank God for their survival, and seek forgiveness for lives lost during the insurgency. The organizers also hope the event will help reconnect former captives with communities and draw attention to the social, psychological, and economic challenges they continue to face decades after their return. Reverend Canon James Okara, the Provost of Boro Chapter and Chairperson of the Organizing Committee, said the initiative was proposed by the returnees themselves as a way of seeking spiritual renewal and reconciliation. Okara Okara said the prayer will bring together returnees, community leaders, and people of different faiths to reflect on the impact of the conflict and pray for healing. He called on Christians and Muslims to participate in the prayer, saying the effects of the insurgency were felt across communities and require a collective response. Gulu District Education Department has earmarked 423.6 million shillings this financial year for the facilitation of 6 primary schools across the district. The development comes at a time when several schools in the district are operating in dilapidated structures due to inadequate funding for infrastructure improvement. The planned projects include the renovation of a block of 4 classrooms at Paibona Primary School at a cost of 80.6 million shillings and another block of 4 classrooms at Palaro Primary School budgeted at 80 million shillings. The district will also construct a block of 2 classrooms at Bulku Primary School at a cost of 80 million shillings. At Patiro Primary School, 1 block of 2 classrooms will be renovated at 50 million shillings, while Awaj Primary School will receive renovation works on 2 classroom blocks at a cost of 50 million shillings. Burlington Pangwech, the Secretary for Works and Technical Services at Gulu District Local Government, confirmed the development, saying works are expected to commence in October during the second quarter of that financial year. You are listening to the latest news bulletin on Mega FM. Elsewhere, Liberia has agreed to accept up to 1,200 foreigners deported from the U.S. over the next year in one of the biggest deals agreed so far by Washington, as it continues to clamp down on illegal migration. Such agreements with other countries have often involved people who are legally protected from returning to their own countries for reasons such as persecution. It's not clear if those coming to Liberia have protection orders. An initial group of 20 are due to land on Thursday and would be free to go when they wished or could apply for asylum. Information Minister Jeremy Pia said none of the deportees were criminals or facing prosecution in the US or Liberia. Pia said.
This program is sponsored by
KCB Bank. For people, for better. KCB Bank Uganda is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund up to 10 million Uganda shillings. T's and C's apply.
A 2 billion shilling financial package has been unveiled for smallholder farmers and agri-business in northern and northeastern Uganda. The fund will help enhance access to finance, productivity and value addition, the sustainable pathways for rural outreach and upward transition into nature. Positive Growth Initiative project is under a Buy Finance Limited and ASA Microfinance. It targets women farmers and agribusiness enterprises. It comes at a time when Uganda is accelerating implementation of its nation-all financial inclusion strategy to 2023-2028, which prioritizes reducing access barriers, deepening the usage of quality and affordable financial products, strengthening financial literacy and consumer production and protection, and developing an inclusive green finance market. Yet, according to Mona Muguma, Chief Executive Officer at Buy Finance Limited, for many rural households and agribusinesses, access to finance remains one of the greatest barriers to growth, with women facing additional constraints.
That was Mega FM Business.
was sponsored by
KCB Bank. For people, for better. KCB Bank Uganda is regulated by the Bank of Uganda. Customer deposits are protected by the Deposit Protection Fund up to 10 million Uganda shillings. T's and C's apply. Sports News. Mega Farmer.
To end the news in sports, Secondary school from Lira City have started their Fiasa game strongly, recording an impressive victory in cricket and leading the girls' beach soccer standings. In cricket, Sacred Heart dismissed Kenya's Mwangaza 43 runs in 13.5 overs after winning the toss and choosing the ball. The Gulu side then reached 44 runs in just 4.1 overs without losing a wicket, with Cho Saba, Macklin and Amoro Nyero remaining unbeaten. Sacred Heart will now face Dodoma on Thursday in their next cricket match. Meanwhile, in girls' beach soccer, Sacred Heart led the standings with 9 points, winning all 3 matches. Sacred Heart will face Standard High School Zana on Thursday in a challenging match. Thanks for listening to the latest news bulletin on Mega FM. I'm Winnie Oyet. Good morning.